Hi, folks. My name is Ethan, and I'm one of the Moorhead academic coaches at the Office for Accessibility and Educational Opportunity at Vassar College. Together, Matthew Haley and I are trying to create a space for you to be able to reflect on various topics as you head into your summer. Thanks for coming to the first video in our web series.
What's brewing at the AEO?
In this video, we're going to talk about motivation. What is motivation? Why am I so bad at it? The importance of knowing yourself, and how do you keep yourself motivated? All right, let's define motivation. Motivation is the state of having a reason to do or accomplish something. There are two types of motivation, internal and external. Often people consider passion to be an internal motivation, but there are many different types, including curiosity, challenge, collaboration, or competition. Consider what drives you to keep you going, and not just when things are easy. There is also external motivation. Think of it as forces from the outside that'll cheer us on, or can help you have a successful work session. It's not just about rewards. Let's dive deeper for a second. Have you ever heard someone say, I'm just waiting for some motivation? We convince ourselves that we need motivation, some abstract state of being to do whatever it is that we must. It's a worthwhile question to ask if motivation is the spark, or if it's more of a fire that sustains you. In the book, The Motivation Myth by Jeff Hayden, he seems to think that motivation is more of the latter. It's what helps sustain our focus and energy. Getting started on a task can be tough. You can reach out to an academic coach, a friend, or a family member for what it is you need to get going. You can also reflect with yourself. Consider how you do this. Self-talk is important. When's the last time you thought about what you say to yourself? As you're working towards something that's challenging, we often get negative, but instead try to have a positive monologue and support yourself through your task. Be intentional with what words you use. Like, instead of saying, I have to finish this, which might bring on some anxiety, try saying, I'm choosing to start this now. Do you think that you're bad at motivating yourself? I think a lot of people feel that way. You should know that motivation is actually pretty difficult sometimes. I'd like you to remember two things. One, it's okay if you aren't great at motivating yourself. And two, this isn't about willpower. You aren't weak. There's more to motivation than just willpower. Our anxiety towards a topic can make it difficult to get motivated. This often leads to procrastination. It's natural to want to avoid a stressful situation. Take a look at these thoughts. Have you ever had any of them? They aren't the most encouraging. It can be hard to do something when you aren't interested. Your brain needs something to grab its attention. It is important to recognize that there are always going to be things that we need to do, but we find boring. In an article by Thomas Brown, a professor in the psychology department at Yale, he discusses how motivation, emotions, and executive functioning are directly linked. He says our emotions play a critical role in our ability to initiate and prioritize tasks, our ability to sustain effort, and when we're trying to use our active memory. When you are genuinely interested in something, it affects your brain chemistry in a positive way. The way we feel about a topic can be a conscious thought or a subconscious one. Saying that motivation can be created through willpower ignores the impact of our subconscious emotions. Let's talk about the importance of knowing ourselves. As we touched on earlier, on this road to motivation, it's critical for you to know yourself. Jonathan Mooney, in his book, Learning Outside the Lines, devotes time to this question of knowing yourself and making a commitment to bettering yourself. Once you have a better idea of who you are, you can start to integrate strategies and tools to help you become your best. We all have stories which include difficult times in our life. Try to be kind to yourself, but work through how you got to where you are today. Look for the gains. Think about how you've grown over the past 1, 3, 5, or 10 years. Reflect on who in your life has been essential to your development. You're good company. It could be a family member, a friend, teacher, coach, or counselor. You didn't do all this by yourself. You're a part of something a little bit bigger. Assess your strengths. What are you good at? But also, what are some areas for improvement? Embrace your creativity in how you think about yourself and your environment. Reflect on what you care about, what drives you, and utilize that knowledge. Most people are multimodal learners, meaning that you're not going to just learn best from reading. You might want to read something, write about it, talk about it, listen, and watch it, or some combination of that. Try using multiple platforms to learn. As we move forward, reflect on which resources you need to create a positive environment. Think about how you connect with others in meaningful ways that can facilitate you to become a better learner and a better young professional. You're going to grow over time, and sometimes growing can be tough. Prepare yourself mentally and physically to make the changes you deem appropriate to reach your goal. Remember, it's okay not to know how to do something and to ask us or other members of the Vassar community. So as you can see, there are a bunch of strategies here. There are 3 that I want to highlight. Imagine yourself sitting down at your desk and getting started on an assignment. What do you need to be successful? Do you have your charger, your snacks, your headphones? Do you have the right material in front of you? Often we may get interrupted, or we may forget something, then try to multitask. And every time we do that, we lose time trying to get back into the rhythm of our work. So how do we prevent or avoid wasting time? Another great way to motivate yourself is through accountability. You can hold yourself accountable by sharing your goal or deadline with someone, like a parent, a sibling, or a friend. You can also use them as a sounding board. For some projects, you may find that working in a group is easier. Another strategy is you can make a virtual coffee shop, or you could use ours. Try finding someone who can be your accountability partner. Let's quickly go over these other strategies before we wrap up. Just like how some people prep meals over the weekend, prepare yourself for the rest of the week and save yourself some time and energy in the long run. Try to work on something for 15-ish minutes and then take a 5-ish minute break. Check out our description for some adorable tomato timers. So you're writing your essay, and every time you finish a paragraph, you might reward yourself with a YouTube video or your favorite snack or drink. Maybe you can have someone quiz you while you're playing a game. It's important to maintain energy throughout the day. When you do something that drains you, try and find something that helps build back some of that energy. Changing your environment can change your mindset. Change your environment by going outside, or you can consider what's in your room. What's the lighting like? How is your room laid out? Try to create an environment that you like to work in. Sometimes, doing the toughest task makes the rest easy and can get rid of that toxic worry. You can also try and prioritize by keeping in mind which tasks are the most important and most urgent. Sometimes you might want to start with the easiest task to get the ball rolling. So today we learned about motivation. Motivation can be created through internal or external factors. Think of motivation as a fire that sustains us as opposed to a spark. It's alright if you aren't great at motivating yourself. It's not a matter of willpower. It's also determined by your conscious and subconscious emotions. When trying to get a task done, it's important to know yourself. Reflect on your past and your present, and try and consider what you're working towards. There are plenty of strategies that help with motivation, like being prepared and finding an accountability partner. In our next video, we're going to build on this and talk about goal setting. Thanks for joining, and check out our description below for more information.